Well, here we are again, the Working Lunch. Good to see you, Michaela.
Hi, everyone. As you guys know, I'm Michaela Tucker-Davis of Mass Higher Central Career Centers.
And I am not Jeff Turgeon.
And he is not Jeff Turgeon for the second episode in a row.
That's right. The viewers have spoken.
Yes.
They want to get rid of the other guy. And they want to bring in the handsome guy.
I did send him a text. I said, you know what? I don't know. There's a ballot going right now, and Bruce might be taking your seat. So.
Yeah, we had a major turnout of all of our 3 voting people.
Yeah, so he might be on strike right now. I don't think he's too happy, but we are happy to have a little downtime without him. So what is new, Bruce?
It's nice. Well, we just started rugby.
Nice.
Worcester Public School varsity Wildcats. And we just started our first varsity season 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
And we're trying to get the players on board. It's been a challenge, and that's what's one of the things that we're talking about here, because there's so much going on in Worcester.
Yes.
I mean, we have 23,000 kids in our public school system,
Wow.
23,500 or so.
Yeah, wow, that's a big number. I didn't realize that.
Football teams, sports teams everywhere, and it's somewhat of a challenge to recruit folks to play rugby.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's due to unfamiliarity?
It's a great question. It's a great question. I mean, there's some perception of rugby that it's
a little
violent,
rough, right? Very violent.
And no lie, every sport is violent in its own way.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a degree of unfamiliarity. But one of the things that I've really come across is that a lot of the young men and women who are on our team can't play because they work in the afternoon.
Right.
And this is not a challenge that some of our competitors in our league face, like Algonquin, and good for them.
Right.
They can get 30 or 40 people out because their kids aren't working after school. Our students are working after school.
Right.
So I really have to make accommodations for them to be able to play.
Yeah.
And understand that they have different priorities. And if I'm able to accommodate them, if they can't come to practice 4 or 5 days a week, maybe they can come 2 or 3 days a week.
Right. And
Fantastic.
just make that flexible for them.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting. I mean, it's great to get outside, except for a day like today. I mean, second day of spring, it's 29 degrees and snowing.
You know what they say.
Speaking of snowing, you were in
Colorado.
Colorado, right?
Yeah, escaping Snowmageddon at that point. But the first 3 days were great, and then I heard a snowstorm rolling in, and I'm like, I have to get out of here. I didn't leave
snow is like
Massachusetts
chasing you.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm a snow queen. It might have a little razzle dazzle.
Not the ice queen, but the snow queen.
Hey, you like skiing anyway. It works in your favor. So
we haven't had that much of a winter either.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot to talk about today, and we're here with Danielle Delgado, who's Executive Director of the Central Community Branch of the YMCA of Central Mass.
Yes.
I am a Y member.
Oh, good.
I go to the Greendale. I didn't know you were.
Yeah, good.
I go to the Greendale and swim, and I sometimes go to Burroughs and swim.
Okay.
Nice.
So we love what you're doing, and we're here to talk to you about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm a Central Y girl, born and raised. Yeah, so I go to Central and Greendale, so I do both. Yeah.
Well, the good thing is you guys have memberships that you can go to all of them.
Yes.
So that's nice
because
we all have different features.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then also the one in the Tri Valley
Tri
one.
Community Y. Yep.
And that's in where is that one?
And
Northborough?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Tri Community. Oh my goodness! Don't get me the line.
This is going to be on the test, by the way.
It definitely is. So we have the Tri Community Y. We also have one out in Fitchburg.
Right.
Montechusett Y, and then they have a standalone wellness center in Leominster.
Oh, nice.
So there's 5 branches in our association.
Now
So it's really nice. If you have that membership, you can travel all around.
Yeah, it's great. Super convenient. Now the Central Branch is the oldest one in the area, right? Like 1920?
1920, yep.
And it didn't start in the building where it is now. It started, I guess, on the 2nd floor of Mechanics Hall.
Really?
You don't remember that?
I don't, but I was trying. I was definitely trying. I just remember where it's standing now.
Right.
And I've been lucky enough to be around it for a while. My grandfather was an avid member of the Y for years, and I loved that. When I worked there at a time, and he was going at the same time, I remember we had to do a little photo shoot for the board book. And it's myself working and my grandfather there, and everyone still remembers him. So it's great. So I had some very fond memories of that branch.
A lot of deep roots.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That really is a Worcester thing. I mean, I moved here in 2007, so I don't really have those roots. But people are born here and they stay here, and they may leave, but they always come back. And that's kind of your story, right?
Yes. Absolutely. So definitely, I was born in actually Michigan, moved to New Bedford. My family is of Cape Verdean descent. So most of our family was in New Bedford for a while. I came here very young in elementary school. Went through Worcester Public Schools, graduated of Doherty High. Love
How about
it.
those Highlanders?
Hey, how about them? All my friends went to North, and I thought I went to North. But yes, I was definitely a Highlander. And then from there, went to Fitchburg State and things like that. But I initially started working at the Y. My brother-in-law actually worked there at the time, and he hired me to run the sports camp at Greendale.
Oh, nice.
Loved it. Basketball is definitely my thing. Ran the sports camp for several years there in the summers at the Y, and then I went to Fitchburg State. While I was at Fitchburg State, there was a YMCA there. So I called like, hey, you guys hiring?
Absolutely.
So I got to work at the Montechusett Y, which is now a part of the Central Community, a part of our association. At the time, it was not. So I ran their teen programs all through college, and in the summer, I'd come back and run sports camp. It was great. Yes. So
Okay, all right.
summer here, school year there. So
Yeah.
I was working for 2 different Ys, 2 associations. And then I was hired to run the school age program at Greendale once I graduated. So I came back here, back to Worcester, was here for several years, running the teen programs. Under some really great leadership at the time, Jeanette Robichaud, Domingo Guyton. So it was really nice doing that. And then I, had a great opportunity. And with the Y, we used to do a lot of international programming, which was cool. So I had this amazing opportunity to go to Senegal to lead a group with, there was about 8 of us, 8 teens, and myself and another coworker. We went to a YMCA in Senegal for 2 weeks. By far the most amazing experience of my life. It was life-changing. I came back to Massachusetts like
How was it life-changing? Can you
life-changing in the sense of, you see the appreciation for life, when you're in a community of people who have nothing, right? So day to day, it was like they had nothing, and I was struggling with that, but they were happy, hardworking. And our trip was split between 2 things. It was a week of being at the camp. The YMCA is called YMCA, but for them, MCA.
Right.
We were at the YMCA camp, and we lived with families for the 2 weeks that we were there, host families. And there was days there. There was a day there, like I cried. It was so hot in there. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, if I'm crying, I can only imagine what my kids are doing. But the families were amazing. They woke up, they helped us, they would laugh at us when we were washing our clothes and stuff like that, But we stayed with them for a week, and then for the second part of the trip, we went to the YMCA actual campground. And there, we had to wake up, we had to do work, we had to go out and plant. And I remember the lady yelling at me because we had all these seeds and we had to do planting, and it was so hot for me, and I'm putting holes in the ground and just dumping the seeds. And she's like, no, one by one. I was like, oh my God, like 1 seed in 1 hole. I was like, oh my God, it was so hot, but they were just so happy and very generous with what they had, right? So you just learn these things, and it was transformative for the youth that I brought. So everyone left with 2 bags. You could only take 2 bags. When we came back, our bags were empty because everything we left there, gave it away. Only thing that we had were the trinkets or the souvenirs that we brought back for our families.
And no seeds.
No seeds. No seeds. I hope those plants grew, right? So it was just life-changing. For me, for the youth I brought with me. I was actually with one of them last week in Disney. Her and I and our families are really close now.
So you're still in touch with these young men and women that you took over, and that was 16 years ago?
My son was 2, so almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. Actually, about 18 years ago. I think he was like 4 at the time. I had a little guy. But it was an amazing experience. So I came back like, I'm going to change the world, right? Like, there's more to life than this. And in my mind, I was like, I want to work for the YUSA or the International Y. When I came back, that was my goal. I was like, I want to work for the International Y or YUSA. International Y was in New York. The YUSA is in Chicago. And I was like, all right, I'm going. Then I was like, I am not going to Chicago. It is too cold. Settled in on New York. Started looking for opportunities out there. I didn't land with the International Y, but was at the Y Greater New York
Right.
at the Flatbush branch for 5 years. And, you know, I figured, I was like, oh, this is a nice little foot in
Right.
to get to know people. Absolutely, absolutely loved it. I worked in a school called Erasmus Hall. It's a historic school in New York. It's huge. It's a campus. They have like 5 schools in there. But I worked in the school through the YMCA,
Okay.
hand in hand with the principal to run the school.
Yeah.
But out there, some of the schools were funded by the Y.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there's the partners. There's
Okay.
community partners that
Gotcha.
help to run the schools.
Okay.
So did that. In my roots, definitely, I love working with youth and families.
Right.
Went to school for sociology. Originally education, I was like, nope, I can't be a teacher. Right?
Yeah.
So
Shout out to the teachers,
Yes,
though.
absolutely,
Fact.
absolutely.
That's a fact.
So went to school for sociology, study
So
of
you were in New
families
York
and
for
cultures.
4 years. Were you
5 years.
For 5 years, you went to get your master's after you were in New York,
So
or simultaneously?
I had gotten my master's supposedly when I was working on it while I was here.
Okay.
And I had 1 semester left, and it was like an internship. So through the new job that I had in New York, I was going to be working in the school. So I was told that I could do my internship in the school.
Oh, nice.
So New York hired me with the impression that I had that I would have my master's.
Okay.
That why. So when I got out there, I found out that there was no reciprocity.
Oh, for you
Yes,
going and doing
yes.
Okay.
So screech and
Immediately,
hope
yep,
for my
stop.
master's
Right.
with 1 semester left.
Wow.
But I was there. I loved it.
Yep.
I had a great job. And something about me, I don't like to be stagnant at all. Like always looking
keep
for
leveling
development.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So if you look at it, I was like 5 years in school,
Right.
5 years at the Y
Y.
before I left. Now 5 years in New York. And I came to a point where I was like, all right, I want more, I want more. I was
Right.
the youth and family director, doing a lot of like just family work, cultural work, working with some of the elected officials in New York and things like that. I was just looking for a new opportunity. And I realized at that point, I still didn't have my master's, right? But this job I had required a master's, but because of my
The lack of
experience,
reciprocity.
because of my experience, obviously they kept me there. So I
Right,
never
right.
finished it, but I wanted to move, and anything I was going to do was going to require a
The
master's.
masters, you had to do it.
So at that point, I was like, I got 1 semester left. I might as well
it.
go back home
Yep,
and
get it
finish
done.
up.
Knock
Right.
it out, right?
Yeah, looked for a new opportunity, and obviously looked within the Y, but there wasn't anything at the time. So I had a great opportunity, and I went over to Friendly House.
Nice. Yes.
Yes, I love
Another
Friendly
great
House.
organization in
Grassroots
the community.
organization.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's so many organizations here that with people who legitimately care about the city and the people who live in it, and that's a beautiful and I think inspirational
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So all of my work has been very fulfilling and rewarding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Coming out of
yeah.
high school and then going to college, you've always been hands-on in the community, helping others, pulling them up like others have pulled you up. And I think we see, you said that you don't like to stay stagnant. So I see that growth across those years. And now in your role as a executive director,
Yeah.
which is kind of considered at the top of the top, like what do you do in your daily role now?
Yeah. So,
A lot of paperwork.
I was at Friendly House. Actually, I was at Friendly House 10 years, but simultaneously, I was there 5 years. Worked under Gordon Hargrove. He was there forever.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
him.
Yes.
Love him.
It's a
Staple in the
Worcester
community.
institution.
Right. Absolutely. Right. He entrusted me with a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I learned a lot being there. Really was able to connect more with the community. Worked with Youth Connect partners in different ways, et cetera. So about 5 years in, which is crazy. I never noticed this 5-year pattern with me.
Right.
About 5 years in, I had finally finished my master's. It was in school guidance, and I was working with the schools, and there was a great
You were
opportunity.
at North, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
great opportunity at North to go over, and that was, I think, the second year that they started the wraparound coordinators.
Yes, yep,
Right,
yep.
so there was only like 4 or 5 of us at the time, and North asked me to come over to be their wraparound, and I did it,
yeah.
but I could never leave Friendly House alone.
Right.
So I stepped away, but I still helped them. For 5 years, I worked at North High
Yep.
and Friendly House.
Doing
Like I
both
helped, we're both,
simultaneously,
yeah.
yes.
But I was a guidance counselor at North. My last year there, I actually coached the girls team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I used to play for North, so go
yeah.
Polar Bears, yeah.
And that was definitely a job you do because you love basketball.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
You do it because you love
Right.
it.
We're not gonna
Yeah.
we're not gonna state what's between
Yeah.
the lines
Right.
there, right?
We love it.
Right.
But I will say this year, so about 2 years out of coaching, their coach now, Dan,
Yeah,
has
he did
done a great job.
Didn't they go to? Did they go to district?
They finally made districts.
Yep, they did
for the first time, and I do not know how long.
Yeah, I think
So-
since like my sister played, because they went with Cherry
Yep.
one year. Yep.
Yes, they did for a while.
Yep.
Exactly. So I was very proud of them, and
That's
to see
awesome.
those girls develop and stuff like that.
Absolutely, that
Yeah.
program develop overall.
Yeah. So now into my new role, I had a great opportunity. I have had awesome opportunities
Absolutely.
along the way. Like I don't ever feel like I stepped back or anything. I feel like I've stayed true to what I want to do, and to my mission and what's important to me. But I will say what's extremely important to me is understanding that I came from and where I'm at, right? And understanding and knowing that there's a lot of young girls, especially African American girls, who look up to me, right? So that's like a heavy weight sometimes, but I carry it.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I look around and there's many, many times I sit in meetings and at tables that there's no one who looks like me. Right? So I'm big on being like a mentor.
Yeah.
For
paying it forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was inducted into the Boys and Girls Hall of Fame a while back because I was a Boys and Girls Club kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them, love Liz. And now in my current role, I have a great opportunity to still do what I love, working with the community. I live in Maine South community.
Yep.
I work where
So
I
you work
live.
where you live.
Yep.
All right.
I'm able to build up my team. I'm able to still create impact. I'm able to be a mentor. I actually right now have an intern from North High who I took under me as the exec. She's my executive intern. Yeah,
I love
and
that title, executive intern. Yeah.
Yep, I love it. She loves it. She's awesome. But I'm able to do still what I love in the community that I'm at, and be impactful and create, help to create some change.
Absolutely.
But also to help open up doors
Give
for
opportunity.
others.
I was going to say that,
Absolutely.
like working as a youth specialist in the Career Center, it's lately it's been a challenge helping some of these young adults find jobs or careers or letting them get that hands-on experience, because a lot of people don't give them that opportunity. So I think it's great that you're taking her through a really high role as an executive director, and I love the executive intern title, and letting her see those day-to-day operations and what it looks like, because you can't pay for that experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
So sometimes learning it from someone else is a great reward and helps in the long run. So I think that's awesome.
I got to tell you that I love sitting here and just listening to you guys. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me feel good. I mean, I feel really optimistic because, middle-aged white guy, they see a lot of me,
Yeah.
Right.
but they don't see a lot of you, and they
Right.
need to see a lot of you, right? And that's so, I think it's so special to me. So when I sit here and I hear you guys, going back and forth, I really feel good about that.
Right.
So sorry to interrupt.
No, it's good. It's good. So I love it. I love, the work that I'm doing now. I have a good team. We're building and we're learning, and I've only been back at the Y. So I'm back at the Y for 2 years now.
2 years, okay.
This July will actually make 2 years of being there. But like I said, I'm in the community I love. I'm very familiar with the Y, so the transition was fairly easy. Some of the people who are on my team were there when I started, so there's a lot of longevity in Y careers. Absolutely great opportunities for individuals being at the Y.
I want to ask you, what have you found to be the most challenging thing as you've elevated to the position of executive director? And then what has been like the biggest surprise? So what has been like the most challenging thing in a senior senior leadership position, and what's been like the most surprising?
I think like some of the challenges is like I'm very ambitious, and I want to do so much, and obviously there's only so much time in a day, but just dealing with, sometimes there's restraints, there's protocols and things like that you have to follow, and I get it. No one wants to do it, but it's a process. It's a process, and learning that process along the way. So sometimes you have to take a couple steps back to take those steps forward, and you have to be resilient through it. And it's hard. It's hard. There's days I'm like, because you see the need. You see the need, whatever it is, especially in our community, right? You see the need, and it's like, how do I create this, or how do I change this? So it's been hard in that sense. And another challenge is motivating others to see things like you, or have the same enthusiasm or the same work ethic and passion as you, right? Because not everyone has no one's walked in my shoes. Everyone's different, has been, dealt on different hands. So being able to motivate people to be as passionate and as driven as you are for the things that you are,
And
that you're leading.
finding the ways that they're motivated, because obviously what motivates you or you is not going to be what motivates me.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's, they don't write that like in the leadership books.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting. So that's been the challenges.
Yeah.
What's been like, so share like what's the most rewarding thing so far, and then if you don't mind, like share some of the like the unexpected roadblocks, not the challenges, because you talked about like the personal challenges, but you know, there's stuff that's going on in the city that needs fixing.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
all know that. So
Absolutely.
Are you making headway there?
Yeah.
Just kind of like that.
So I'll say one of the best things, and I'm quiet until I'm not. I'm that person. I'm very quiet in the room, and I just sit and I observe and things like that. And I'm very extremely humble. So I don't like toot my own horn. I am just there, and people recognize the work that I do.
See it, yeah.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that. One of, I think, my biggest successes, and again, extremely humbled by it, is that, and my senior program director loves to say it, is I'm the first African American woman to run a YMCA of Central Mass.
Wow.
Right? Comes with a lot.
Wow. Yep.
As our CEO is the first African American CEO.
That's
David,
yeah,
yes.
he's good. He's
Great
awesome.
man, yes.
David Commonwealth,
So
He was on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
Like
guy.
during the pandemic.
Good
It was
guy.
like-
Yeah.
It was a little.
yes.
Yeah.
So those are big shoes. Those are and I'm humbled by that, and understand again that it comes with a big responsibility. So some of the things and like challenges that I see, that are hindering us is just, we talked about it a little bit earlier, is like there's so many things going on in our community, so many things going on in our Y, in our branches, and how do we let people know that these things are happening, right? So there's resources out there for everyone. We have different programs. We have youth programs, we have teen programs, we have family programs, we have things for active older adults. We have a program specifically, our Mission in Motion, which is a fundraiser that we do for a program called Live Strong, cancer survivors, right?
Yep.
So there's so many programs and opportunities just at my branch alone, never mind our other 5, and never mind just the community of Worcester.
Correct.
So when you see people like struggling and things, there's resources, but I just don't know that they're getting this information.
Correct,
So it's like, how do we get this information out to the people who need it, right? You have the people who know about it, but then there's, we have a large immigrant population coming into the community. Like, how do they understand and know what's happening? Our families who are struggling, the parents, the children. So lots of opportunities, and I think one of our challenges is getting the information out to the individuals who need it.
Right.
Not the people who know about it. People know about it, right? And those people are resourceful. They know how to get that information.
Exactly.
But you have people who are not.
Yeah, and don't know how to advocate for themselves.
Right,
either,
absolutely. And the older population, actually, we are starting a program at the Y pretty soon, specifically for our older population to help them to learn how to use computers.
Oh my, this is so needed.
It's,
yes.
absolutely, right?
Yep.
So, I always tell my older population, like, you know how to use a computer because you all have like these tablets and your phones now, right? That's a small computer.
You're gonna get them on TikTok?
Listen, something. So we have that where they'll come through a program. I think it's an 8-week program where they learn how to use a laptop, and at the end, the laptop, they keep that laptop.
Oh wow!
Yes,
That's an even
so
better.
It is better
That is
because
awesome.
now you worked on the computer that you get to keep.
Exactly.
So it's
Is that a
just
state-funded program or a Y-funded program?
it's a Y program, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
I
That's
didn't know
awesome.
about that.
yeah, so that's brand new. We're going to be rolling that out. We just started to advertise for it, but a lot of programs. So there's lots of challenges. It just depends on who are we talking about? What population? We're talking about children, families, active older adults, cancer survivors. Like, what are we talking about?
On the one hand, there's so many people to help, and that can be, I guess, a source of frustration. But on the other hand, it's a source of optimism and encouragement that there's so many different organizations that are offering these programs. And I know that you mentioned Youth Connect earlier.
Yes.
That's one of those programs that incorporates many different Worcester
Yes.
organizations.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so Youth Connect, and I remember back in the day, it used to be YouthNet, and it has grown. When I was at Friendly House, I was working with it, and I have the opportunity to still be working with it. It's in collaboration with the United Way right now.
right.
Yes, funded by the United Way. So it's an awesome program. There's the YMCA, YWCA, Girls Inc., Boys and Girls Club, and Friendly House.
Okay, nice.
So, right?
5 really
That's
Great
quite a
organizations
lineup.
yeah.
That's quite a
throughout
lineup, yeah.
all of Worcester.
Yep.
Right. So we can really touch the youth all over the city,
Right,
all over the
right.
city. And you have, each night during the summer, it's an 8-week program. During the summer, we provide transportation. It's
feed
a
them,
free,
right? You
free
feed them,
program.
right.
We feed them. There's cross activities throughout each program where one night one organization will host and another night another organization will host,
Yep,
so that the children get to see all
Right.
these different organizations. Like I said, it's free transportation. It runs until, it depends on what site,
Yeah.
but anywhere from 8 or 9 o'clock. So
Yeah.
after that,
sure.
you
The
can
They
Boys
go
and
home.
Girls
Shows,
Club,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I see the bus rolling by. I'm
Yeah,
like, what time
it's
is
an
this
e-
program
7:30,
starting?
It's an evening
right, yeah.
program,
Yeah.
right? So basically, it's a program to target like our at-risk kids. Like we
Right.
don't want them out in the streets in the middle of the
Absolutely.
summer.
Yeah.
So come, be a part of these programs, learn to swim. We,
Right.
we collaborate with UMass to
Yep.
teach the kids how to swim during the summer. Like I said, we feed them. So it's a great collaboration.
I have
That's one of the
another
biggest collaborations probably in the city.
In the program, I remember like a while ago, like when I used to go to YouthNet, when it was YouthNet, they would have opportunities for teens to actually be like counselors or like counselors in training. Do they still kind of do something like that along those lines?
So we actually through Worcester Community Action, we get teens to
Oh, yeah,
work
through
in
the
the program.
summer.
Yes.
That's YouthWorks.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, youth
That's
works.
YouthWorks, right.
Yes.
YouthWorks, right.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So we love youth works.
That's awesome.
It's an opportunity for younger teens to get
Yeah.
involved and
Get some hands-on
learn
work.
that
went to that
employability
same
skill.
program, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We use them both in our summer camp. We use them in our Youth Connect program in the evening program. So. It just depends on the age. Obviously,
Okay.
you want to have that
Right.
age differential between them. But yeah, so there's opportunities, lots of opportunities through Youth Connect. And then, we run year-round programming.
Okay.
So in the summer it's very strategic with the 8 weeks busing, transportation. But now you have this database of children who we can now tap into and have them utilize our facilities throughout the year. In different ways.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
As a
Now,
specialist,
speaking
I
of your
think that's great.
facilities,
Yeah.
you're in a renovation, right? Is that right?
So we are on the tail end of a capital campaign.
Okay.
So it's Worcester. It's also called Community Grows Here. That was the name of the campaign.
I'm going to hold this up for the camera
Yes,
here.
That was
There we
our
go. Let's see.
that was our campaign.
Camera.
be
Here we
Vanna.
go. There you go. Look, there you go.
So on the tail end of that, we technically kind of wrapped it up at the end of the year, but
Yeah.
we still have people that we're talking to about it. So this campaign is to help both the Central Branch and the Greendale Branch with some renovations that we're going to be doing. Greendale is working on a teen innovation hub and some things like that they did over their locker rooms. And at Central, we're actually going to be renovating Fuller Park.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
that's
yes.
nice. And you guys
Fuller
do a lot
Family
of
Park.
summer events
Ooh,
there.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Last year, I think we had 7 or 8 major events there.
Yeah.
National Night Out.
Yep.
In collaboration
Great
with,
event, yeah.
yeah,
Great
thank
Stop
you.
the Violence, right?
Yep.
With Forever Young.
Yep.
I can't.
Yes.
There's a few more.
Yeah.
I know. I see you guys busy back there all
Yes.
throughout the summer.
We had
And,
our Achievers Alumni Cookout.
Oh, wow,
We
Minority
had-
Achievers, yeah,
Yes.
wow.
Great program. We're getting
Yep.
ready to go on a college tour with 40 kids.
Awesome.
In April. We
Wow.
go to, this year we're going to Atlanta and Tennessee.
Wow,
You said they're only
Tennessee.
24 hours in a day, but you're
maximizing all 24. Listen,
Every minute of it.
every minute of the day. I know, me too.
What have I done today?
Right.
So
That's
a
awesome.
lot of really interesting things
Yeah,
going on
yeah.
at the Y, and we want to thank you, Danielle
Yeah.
Delgado,
Thank you.
Executive Director of the Central Branch
Yeah.
of the YMCA of Central Mass.
Yes.
I want to really thank you for being here, and
Thank you,
I
thank you.
really. Your words and your information have really inspired us, and I hope that they inspire other folks. And Michaela, it's great to have you back.
Ooh.
And I hope we'll do this again sometime
Likewise,
soon.
and thank you so much, Danielle. It's
Thank you
great
guys
to
for
hear your
having
story.
me.
You are an inspiration. And now I'm
you.
going to go back to the drawing board and see how I
What
can
have
do
I
a little bit more.
Yes,
But we
feel free to
appreciate
come
having you.
volunteer, help out.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So-
Thank you, everyone, for
Great
having
show,
me.
everybody. Thank
Well,
you.
Yeah.
I'm Michaela Tucker Davis, and this is
Bruce Mendelson,
and we're wrapping up another episode of the
Working Lunch.
See you later.
Bye now.
Working 7 to 3, or 3 to 11, 11 to 7. Talking about a